story, so it looked like former NFL coach John Gruden wants Kevin Stefanski's job, and he wants Shedeur Sanders to be his starting quarterback. Former NFL coach John Gruden. Well, John Gruden went on record and said that he would like to coach in New York or Cleveland. Now, we know New York coaches up out of there. Now, there's another coach that is in the hot seat more than any other coach in the entire National Football League, and that is Cleveland's own Kevin Stefanski.
Nobody expected this story to erupt the way it did. One minute, the Browns were just another chaotic, unpredictable NFL franchise. And the next minute, John Gruden's name gets whispered into the wind, and the entire city starts acting like a Marvel movie plot just dropped. Out of nowhere, the retired coach suddenly pops back into the conversation, saying he'd consider coaching again. And the two places he mentioned? New York and Cleveland. And the moment Cleveland heard that, the whole city spun like a blender with the lid off. Because whether he meant it or not, that one comment made it sound like he wasn't just looking for work.
Would John be in the head coaching job for the Giants?
I think he'd be very interested. He loves Jackson Dart. If you have a young quarterback that's talented like Jackson, you want a guy like John that's going to challenge him every day. Does he have some stuff in his background? Maybe he does. But if you want a guy that gets the most out of your quarterback, the most out of your team, then I believe John Gruden would be a good fit. Does he want to do it? I have no idea. Now, I know he loves football. He loves a coach. If given the opportunity, if he's lucky enough to get one, he would really think about it.
He was eyeing Kevin Stefanski's job specifically. And here's where it gets even wilder. Reports, rumors, online whispers, everything started pointing toward the same shocking twist. John Gruden wants to coach Shedeur Sanders. Not just coach in the NFL again. Not just return quietly. He wants Shedeur. Badly.
Keep his job without playing Shedeur Sanders this year.
He's not playing Shedeur Sanders because he's keeping his job. We asking the wrong question. He's not playing Shedeur Sanders. It's because his job is safe. The only way you can get away with handling this quarterback situation as egregiously as he's handling the quarterback situation, continuing to play Dylan Gabriel, even though the offense has no spark, even though you're losing to the Jets and Justin Fields, even though Dylan Gabriel is airmailing now screens, is because you know you're safe.
Like a man who's been waiting for a quarterback he can rebuild his legacy with. But the twist? Stefanski refuses to play Shedeur. He won't even say Shedeur's name in some interviews. He stands in front of the media, fully calm, while the entire city is emotionally disintegrating, and says the same thing every time. We're sticking with Dylan Gabriel. And as soon as he says it, you can practically hear the city groan in unison, like someone unplugged Cleveland from life support. The media melts down. The fans lose it. Analysts start talking like they're on the verge of filing formal complaints with the football gods. And right in the middle of that emotional explosion, John Gruden's name keeps floating around, refusing to die. The guy hasn't coached in years, but suddenly he's the center of the biggest quarterback debate in the AFC North. And the question everyone keeps asking is, why now? Why Shedeur? Why Cleveland? And even more telling,
it's not my place, to answer, to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control. So I'm not even gonna think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is, it is. But it doesn't make me feel down, or it doesn't make me feel left out or anything, because I know who I am as a person, I know who I am as an individual, and I know what I could bring to this team.
Why does Stefanski look completely unfazed by all of it? Because if a coach feels pressure, he adjusts. If he feels the seat heating up, he panics. If he feels job security slipping, he changes something, anything, to buy time. But Stefanski isn't changing a thing. He's doubling down, triple downing, cementing Dylan Gabriel into the starting job, like he's the franchise's long-term investment. Which is exactly why analysts started saying the one thing that changed the entire tone.
This game and kind of now being behind the eight ball. I mean, do you stick with Dylan Gabriel after this game, or do you think about making a change?
Yeah, we're going to stick with Dylan. Obviously, this is a young players that you're always trying to get one game better and those type of things, but we have to play better as an offense. We have to coach better, all the above.
Why wouldn't you, just to see if it does anything to the offense, give him an opportunity to go in there and play?
Yeah, obviously my focus is where we are right now, Mary Kay. That's not my focus.
He's not playing Shedeur because his job is safe. That's when the conspiracy started growing legs. Some believe Stefanski already knows he's staying. Others think the front office is protecting him. Some think he's stubborn. And then there's the wild theory. If he plays Shedeur too early and Shedeur struggles, the city will crucify him for it. But if he doesn't play him at all, he can claim patience, development, long-term planning, all the safe buzzwords coaches love when they're trying to survive chaos. Meanwhile, Cleveland fans are treating Shedeur like a prophecy, like a chosen one, like the quarterback who will finally break the Browns' eternal cycle of heartbreak and emotional trauma. They've already made him the savior, the hope, the future, the spark, the miracle, and the face of a franchise he hasn't even played a single snap for. Shedeur, for his part, stays composed, calm, mature. He refuses to feed the drama. He talks about being grateful, patient, ready for whenever his moment comes. But the fan base, they do not share his patience. They do not share his calm.
Guy that has a lot of money and still wants to work, and that's my brother. He still wants to get back into coaching. I don't know why, but he still wants to get back into the grind.
Will he do that? Would he accept the job, in your opinion, like in Arkansas?
I think he would, probably. I think there's a lot of teams that could use his services. He's a great coach and a great guy, and just has a great passion for the game. And I think, given the opportunity, he would probably do it. I can't speak for him, but I would. The way, I know him pretty good. I just think he would have given the opportunity.
They want him on the field right now. They want him replacing Dylan immediately. They want Stefanski to stop avoiding the inevitable and give Cleveland what Cleveland wants. And as this tension builds like a shaken soda can, the media starts combusting. Analysts yelling, hosts pointing fingers, fans calling in like they're reporting crimes. One guy on TV even defended Dylan Gabriel like he was an endangered species, saying things like, "He's only a rookie," and "He needs more time," while the rest of the panel looked at him like he was speaking in underwater Morse code. Meanwhile, Dylan keeps taking sacks, missing reads, and panicking under pressure, which makes everything worse because every mistake he makes becomes another reason fans scream for Shedeur. Every blown play becomes another argument. Every lost game becomes another piece of evidence in Cleveland's growing quarterback obsession. And then the Jets game happened. The Jets, the official measuring stick of NFL misery. Losing to the Jets is like the universe tapping you on the shoulder and whispering, "Something is very wrong." That loss sent Cleveland into full meltdown mode. Fans didn't just complain, they detonated. Suddenly, people were calling the Jets' loss the final straw, the last warning, the sign that the football gods are angry. And once that loss hit the record, the pressure on Stefanski skyrocketed.
A lot of people will say this too, like the Browns have historically rushed rookie quarterbacks onto the field before they're ready, ruin them. I mean, I know that's the whole thing. Like, what quarterback are we going to ruin next year and all this kind of stuff. The difference this year for me is that this season is gone. It's lost. And you already know that the first rookie you tried to put out there is clearly not it. And it's not even a matter of him not being ready. I just don't think he's capable, period. There's no amount of time, practice, experience that's going to suddenly make him capable. We need to see if Shedeur is, because we've got those 2 first-round picks next year.
But here's where the story transforms from simple quarterback controversy into full-blown Cleveland drama. Because while the fan base is practically begging for Shedeur Sanders, the front office is starting to fracture. The GM, Andrew Berry, reportedly wants Shedeur. He drafted him. He sees the talent. He sees the upside. He sees the potential superstar. But Stefanski, he won't budge. He treats Shedeur like a forbidden word, like saying it out loud might summon something he doesn't want to deal with. And because he keeps refusing, fans begin to spiral. Some say bench Dylan now, others say play 2 quarterbacks. One guy online even said, trade Shedeur if you aren't going to use him. Trade a quarterback who hasn't even taken a snap. Only Cleveland could create that level of dramatic chaos. Meanwhile, Shedeur just trains, stays humble, stays focused. He refuses to get dragged into the politics. He refuses to feed the fire. But the city doesn't share his composure. They're boiling. They're shaking. They're demanding. Radio stations are melting down. Comment sections are exploding. And just when it couldn't get crazier, John Gruden's shadow grows bigger. Some insiders start whispering that Gruden already has his eye on the job. That if Stefanski slips once, just once, the Browns will consider giving him the call. Not next season, not down the line, immediately. Like they're ready to fire Stefanski on a Monday and hand Gruden the keys on Tuesday. And because Cleveland's season is spiraling, losing more games only pushes the city closer to an emotional earthquake. Every loss feels like a countdown. Every bad drive feels like a crack forming in the foundation. And every time Dylan Gabriel takes a sack, fans collectively scream, "Play Shedeur!" Like it's a chant echoing across the entire city skyline. Analysts are no better. They're arguing on live TV about basic quarterback mechanics. They're analyzing Dylan's body language like he's a defendant on trial. They're breaking down every throw, every drop back, every decision. And one analyst went nuclear, ranting that Dylan either can't see the field or doesn't see the field, and they don't know which one is worse. They called his play a sad imitation of quarterbacking. And the frustration was dripping from their voice like the city's soul was hanging by a thread. And yet, amid all that noise, the clock keeps ticking. Cleveland keeps sliding. The playoffs drift further away. And the louder the emptiness gets, the clearer one truth becomes. Shedeur Sanders is either the solution, or the next name added to Cleveland's long list of quarterbacks sacrificed to chaos. The Browns have been known to ruin rookie QBs. They've rushed guys too early. They've mishandled careers. Fans joke about it like it's tradition. But this year feels different. This year feels desperate. This year feels like the moment they finally decide whether to break the cycle or repeat it again. The city is begging for Shedeur. They're chanting for him. They're praying for him. They're treating him like the superhero Cleveland deserves. And the fact that he still hasn't taken the field makes it even crazier. Because what if he really is that good? What if he really could turn it around? What if Shedeur Sanders truly is the spark the Browns need? But Stefanski won't even test it. And that stubbornness is lighting the fuse of a citywide explosion. You can feel it. You can sense it. You can practically see the storm building over the stadium. If Cleveland loses the next game, just one more loss, the cries for Shedeur will become demands. Not requests, not suggestions, demands. The city will erupt. The media will detonate. The pressure will become unbearable. And in the middle of that implosion stands Jon Gruden, circling like a hawk looking for an opening. He wants one more chance. He wants redemption. And the idea of pairing himself with a young, marketable electric quarterback like Shedeur Sanders. It's the kind of storyline Gruden would leap toward. Fans can already picture it in their heads. Gruden walking into the press conference with fire in his eyes, slamming a playbook on the table saying, "We're rolling with Shedeur." And the fan base would lose their minds. It would be chaos. It would be beautiful. It would be the most Cleveland thing ever. Meanwhile, Stefanski is coaching like a man already halfway out the door. Some say he's mentally gone. Some say he's tired. Some say he's frustrated. But his refusal to budge is becoming a statement. And that statement is tearing the fan base apart. Local analysts start dropping insider hints that Stefanski's name is coming up for other jobs. Side jobs, assistant roles, not major ones. Jobs people only take when they know the main gig is slipping away. Fans compare his press conferences to a man who has spiritually retired but physically still shows up.
I think Dylan played horribly yesterday. I just don't think he played very well either. And 5 starts in, I am mystified at how we've not seen, for the supercomputer, I'm mystified how we've not seen the game slow down for him or him grow any more comfortable. He either can't see it or just doesn't see it. And I don't know what the difference is, meaning if you can't see it because you just don't actually view the field very well versus you just don't see it because you're panicked. I guess you'd want it to be the latter thing, but I don't know. I don't know which one it is.